dude still goes out for a morning bike ride.
Listen, I just figured I'd get out in front of, if he's going to play the D's Nuts game with us, I just get out and play that game in front of him.
Brian Urlacher, the Hall of Famer, our friend, joining Waddle and Silvy right now.
We haven't gotten any more mature around here, Brian.
That's a good thing. Neither have I. I might have gone the other direction, actually.
It's what we had on recently. Robbie Gold was in studio in the old National Bank studio. And he said that there is nobody better than a Brian Urlacher, that he would give you the shirt off his back. He would give you the house to stay in. He said, you by far were his greatest teammate.
What a guy. I just saw Robbie 2 weeks ago. I mean, especially out of all the guys I played with, I think I see Robbie the most because we play in the same golf tournaments together. So he's great. I know he still lives in the area up there too. But yeah, Robbie, I'm still mad that he didn't finish a Bear. But what a great guy. He was, man, we got Robbie from a practice squad when we signed him. It's crazy. He's going to be a fringe Hall of Famer when he's done, by the way, I think. They're going to have to at least give him a look at him, I believe.
Where do you weigh in on that with the special teamers, too, by the way? We had that thing with Robbie the other day, and, Yurko on the station just badmouth special teamers, doesn't believe they should be in the same. Here's an example. He thinks Peanut Tillman should be in a Hall of Fame well before a Robbie Gold or a Devin Hester. And Peanut's a guy I'm sure that you love. So how do you feel about special teamers?
They're such an integral part of the game. You look at the kickers, man. You don't really notice a kicker until they screw up, right? Or a deep snapper. You never knew Patrick Manley until he screwed up, which he never did. So you never noticed him. But, Devin will be in there. But, yeah, the kickers are such a big part of the game. Even a Steve Castor, in my opinion, he was so good for all those years there in Buffalo. But, yeah, I don't agree with what he says about – I mean, I do agree with his Charles Tillman comment. Charles should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. You just look at his stats, and he's right there. But those kickers and the special teams guys, obviously Devin as well, deserve a look. If not, they're finally been putting some guys in there as well. But they're such a huge part of wins and losses as well.
How often do you put that gold jacket on, Brian? Just walking around the house and just when you're just feeling like, what, I'm a damn Hall of Famer. I'm going to throw this jacket on, and God, do I look good.
Somebody asked me to wear it the other day to a golf event. I was like, are you kidding me? I think it's in my closet, in my very back closet where I put all my suits. But I'm not sure. I haven't seen it in a while. I really don't break it out that much. It's probably too big for me now. I lost a little bit of weight. But what's funny is the last time I wore it, I was at an event with Tim Brown, and somehow we got our jackets switched. So I took his and he took mine. When I got home, I went to put it on. I was like, whoa. I gained a lot of weight because I couldn't get my arms in the sleeves. And I texted TB, and he was like, yeah, I got yours. You got mine. We'll swap when we see each other. So they all look the same until you see your name on the inside. You don't know whose it is.
I was going to ask you, do they have they've got the name on the inside, though?
Yes. Mine says Brian Urlacher, number 318, Hall of Fame member. So, yes.
It is the coolest fraternity of that you could ever think of, isn't it?
Football-wise, yeah. I think, I don't know any other level you can get to that's higher than that or better than that. It's pretty darn cool. The more I think about it, the cooler it is.
Who is the Hall of Famer that you met that you'd never met before that maybe you were most impressed with?
Easy one.
Yeah?
Easy one.
Who was it?
Don't name it.
Oh, really? Broadway?
Oh, man. I'm telling you, when we were there, he stood up at the luncheon and spoke for like 2.5 minutes. And everyone else, they're talking about Terrell Owens and how he did this and then that. And then I'm not going to get into what everyone said, but Joe Namath stood up and said something in Terrell's defense. It was unbelievable. And everyone was like, okay, there was no more bad-mouthing Terrell after that comment. And then I saw Joe at Reggie Jackson's golf tournament this year, and he's just the coolest dude. I mean, when he walks in, everyone's like, even the Hall of Famer guys, like, they're like, that's Joe Namath. There's Joe. Everyone recognizes when Joe gets there.
The crazy thing is, and I know this is meaningless because time, the different eras mean different things. Joe probably has, one more touchdown than interception thrown? It just tells you how the game has changed over the course of time. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get his stats right now.
They'll shock you.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean,
it wouldn't add up today, would it? It wouldn't. If the game has changed, yeah, you said. I mean, they probably ran the ball a lot more back then.
No doubt. Actually, he had more interceptions than touctouchdowns, if you can believe that. Yes. That just tells you how the game has changed over the course of time.
That's amazing. I would never would have. You could have stumped me with that all day long. That's amazing. But just being around the guy, he's incredible. Man, he's so cool and so just. When he talks, everyone listens. That's for dang sure.
Yeah. I'll give you his exact numbers, Brian. 173 touchdowns, 220 interceptions.
No way.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Nuts.
His
Wow,
his quarterback rating for his career, Brian, was 65.5.
Dang.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. The whole thing.
My God. I never would have believed that. I don't care. He's Joe Namath.
Of course. I'm not telling you he deserves to be in it. It's just the game has changed so much.
It was
amazing.
different.
You look at, I wonder what Aaron Rodgers' numbers are. I wonder has he ever thrown 10 picks in a season?
I think he has, but not frequently.
I would not. Maybe his first couple of years, if then. I know the last 2 years it's been 7 or less, which is absurd.
I think Aaron Rodgers is the all-time leader with regard to quarterback rating.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But,
do you ever? We don't talk about them. Let's talk about
that's
them.
a good point.
Do you ever run into Rodgers at all?
I just saw him in Tahoe 2 weeks ago.
So what is that like? Do you reminisce? Do you just catch up? What do you guys talk about?
Everything's so fast. You just say hi and bye or what's up, good to see you, blah, 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 and that's about it. And the people I talk to, Robbie, the guys I played with are the guys that I'm pretty close with. But it's always, he's so busy out there. He's got a lot of pull on his time out there. So it's just hi and bye, usually shake hands, and that's about it.
Is there a guy at the Tahoe event, Robbie was telling us about it too, like he hung out a lot with Larry Fitzgerald, like kind of like what Waddle was telling you, whether it's Justin Timberlake, whether it's Steph Curry who is there. Is there someone that you try to make it a little more than hi and bye because you're interested in meeting them?
I love playing with Larry Fitzgerald. He never stops yapping. He's and people probably don't know it, but on the golf course, we play out here in Arizona a little bit too. So he yaps all the damn time. He never shuts up. We have a little bet going every time, and we're pretty comparable with our games. I may be a little bit better, so we play even, which is good for me. But he's just fun, and he's always yapping. We'll talk all the way down the fairway, all the way. There's never hardly any. And he's super nice to my family. My daughter saw him at a Suns game one time, and he's like, "Oh, hey Riley, what's up?" It's unreal how nice that guy. He's so much classier than I could ever be. I have so much respect for him and the things he's done off the field. But yeah, he's a great one. Kevin Millar, I love Kevin Millar. From the Red Sox. He's a great personality. He never shuts up either. But yeah, Robbie, obviously. Usually Robbie and I get paired together. We didn't get, maybe because he was too far behind me this year. We didn't get paired together.
I was going to say, how did you play? You played pretty well this year in the event, didn't you?
Okay, I think I got top 25. I started out double, bogey, and I made a 30-footer on the fourth hole for par to break my crappy start streak. I ended up getting, I think 32 points, but I was -5 at one point. So I did better as the day went on.
Yeah. Brian Urlacher.
Stressful, man.
Yeah. Brian Urlacher joining us. It's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000. There's nothing on Instagram that I enjoy more than your silly Instagram videos with the snake prank. I was telling Waddle about it. He doesn't know how to navigate Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not good with that.
Explain to our listeners what you do with the fake snake.
It's so easy here in Arizona. Even not in Arizona, it's easy. I just take Zeke. His name is Zeke. He has a little spot in my bag where he stays, and I just put the snake on the ground by people's golf bags. So when they walk around the corner, they may see him, and there's a lot of profanity that comes out right after that. Did you Silvy, did you see when I got him last week?
Who did you get last week?
Man! That's too easy.
Yeah. I am so dumb. That was so good.
You walked into that one.
Do you play the D's Nuts game in Tahoe with the guys, or is everyone just too educated?
I think I get Fitz about every 3 holes. I probably get Larry. I get everybody. It's too easy.
Yeah.
But there's only one person than me, better than me at that game. He's good at it.
Don't fall for it.
Yeah.
I know.
Did you say D's good at it? Is that what you said?
The correct response is which person?
Yeah.
Anyway, no one's better than me in that game. No one. But yeah, Zeke's pretty good on Instagram. He's got some great scares. Lots of people. Arizona, there's snake season all year round, so it's awesome out here.
I texted Brian when I saw there was an article like a month or two ago, and I texted Brian. I go, "Hey, did you see this article? Josh Allen." It was one of his teammates. I think it was his tight end who was saying that no one loves to play that game more than Josh Allen. Or I think I tweeted you about it.
Yeah, you tweeted. My wife does the tweeting. She tweeted you back, and you didn't respond.
You really have your wife tweeting for you?
I don't know. Well, yes, and she did my Instagram until about 3 years ago too. I didn't know how. I didn't really care, honestly. But now it's kind of fun. I like getting on there arguing with people. Sometimes it's a good way to waste time when you're exercising. But for the most part, I do all my Instagram. She does the other stuff.
You know who used to run Waddle's Instagram account?
Your boy did.
D's. D's. But that doesn't work because you didn't set it up right. You're looking at me. You were looking at me to deliver the line, but you didn't set it up right. You know what runs Waddle's Instagram account?
Yeah, Barry used to get me all the time with that game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Barry was good, man. Barry was real good.
All right, so what can you tell us about Matt Eberflus and the Bears going forward with another defensive coordinator now as their head coach?
I love his lineage. I'll tell you that much. He comes out of the cover two, Rob Marinelli lineage, correct?
Yes.
He's a disciple.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I spoke to him right after they hired him. He sent me a text, and I spoke to him very briefly over text message, and I didn't know his lineage before he told me that. So I was very excited to hear that. But if they play anything like what Rod and what Lovey taught, they're going to play fast. They're going to get takeaways. And he was at Indy the last couple of years, correct?
Yes.
Those dudes played good defense there. And not that the Bears played good defense too. From what I saw, I didn't watch a lot of games, but from what I saw, they always played good defense the last couple of years. But yeah, I like his mindset. I'm not sure who's the OC.
Luke Getsy from Green Bay.
Oh, great. Okay, well that's good.
Yes.
The Green Bay coaches know how to score points, so that's good.
Yeah,
but,
they do.
Anytime you got a defensive head coach, you have to have a pretty good offensive coordinator. I figured that out over my time in Chicago. But yeah, I like the way he talks. I like the way his kind of his mindset towards defense.
How much have you seen of Roquan Smith, and what do you think Eberflus will do using him? Is he more like, he's not like you. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's a hell of a player, but he's not even built like you. Is he going to be more like Lance playing the weak side?
I have no idea what they're planning. I haven't watched the Bears much. We don't get them out here where I live. We this area, we get Dallas, we get Arizona, we get the West Coast team. So I haven't seen a lot of the Bears games. If they're on like a Monday or Sunday night, I'll catch them if we're not doing anything. But yeah, so I haven't seen him play live. But I know he's talented as hell. The guy can run, he can hit, he's smart. Everything I read about him, he's got all the tools to be great, and he's done great already. But I don't know what they're going to do with him. He can play anywhere. He can play. Right. He can play Sam. I mean, he can play Mike. He can play Will. He can do anything. I know he's smart enough to run that defense. Size-wise, it doesn't matter anymore. The game, he's is he 6'1", 6'2", and he's 230. So size doesn't matter anymore in the game because there's so much pass-happy offenses that all you got to do is be able to run, and he can damn sure run. Yep. So I mean, they'll make it to him. I know that much because he's too good of a player for them not to.
Does it go a long way for you, Brian, and some of the alums when the coach reaches, the new coach finds it important that he's got to reach out to the good players in the past from the Bears?
I did not expect that. I'll say that much, but I definitely appreciated it. It's nice. Coach Nagy did that as well. When he was hired, I think a day later, the day of, I heard from Coach Nagy. It's very appreciative. I haven't spoke to him since, but it's not expected by me, that's for dang sure, but I definitely appreciate it because it's nice to have some contact with the coaches there still because, that was there for so long. It's just nice to have some familiarity with what's going on there.
What was it like? Take us back to your first camp with Lovey. So Lovey takes over as like this defensive first-time head coach with the defensive background like Eberflus. I always remember Lovey told reporters before that camp that he wanted to weed some guys out and make sure everybody was in shape. Take us to the camp.
First day of training camp, I pulled my hamstring.
Oh.
That was the year I pulled my hamstring 3 different times. So it stunk for me. I missed all training camp. I was lucky to make it back for the first 2 games. Pulled it again after week 2. So that's first season stunk. But yeah, we ran. All what we did was we didn't condition, we didn't do that stuff, but we ran. If you guys remember watching our practices, everything was run. Everybody ran to the football. If you made a mistake, they didn't really care about the mistake. We could fix that later. They cared about your effort. And I was assuming Coach Eberflus will be the same way. Just run to the football.
Yeah, it's what he's talked about. Like they even grade your hustle in practice, I think. Mm-hmm. So
Lovey was the same way. Coach, I used to hate watching film together after practice because Bob would be like, look at here, guys. Look at Brian. You're like, you're middle linebacker. You're Pro Bowl linebacker. He's not loafing on this play. I'm like, dude, leave me alone. I'm tired. But yeah, you just can't. It's embarrassing because when you watch it together, you do not want to be the guy that gets pointed out, and that was in the back of everyone's mind. So, yeah, and I like that. That's the best way. That's why I tell my son, play fast. Mistakes are going to happen. Get to the football.
But yet you had, didn't Bob Babich present you at the Hall of Fame?
I love that dude. Of course he did. We used to get into it every day, but we always butted heads, but we had a ton of respect for each other. I love Bob Babich. I actually talked to him 2 days ago. But yeah, I mean, he was, what can I say? He made me a much, much better player because there was never a play where I didn't know what I was supposed to do before the ball was snapped. When the running back stepped here, I knew I was so far ahead of the game because of him and Lovey with the way they taught us and how easy the defense was.
Just not long ago, Brian, you were on a podcast and you defended Jay, and you talked about the toughness.
Jay was tough.
Right. And I think you've told us that too, and you could express that. What was that talked about, though, enough in the wake of that game? Did the Bears sort of leave Jay out to dry with the media back then?
So the problem is the season's over. It's the last game of the year. Once you do your exit interviews and your last interviews or whatever as a player, you don't really talk to the media after that. So I'm not sure who was supposed to stand up for him, but I just no one ever asked me about. I don't remember. God, it was what 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So I don't know if anyone asked me about it after the game. I know this: Jay would not take himself out of the game. The dude was tough as hell. He played that game with an MCL tear, and he was hurting the team because he couldn't throw the football. You need your knees and be able to step on the throws as a quarterback. But the next year, he blew his thumb out against San Diego, and he still played the whole game. And he has surgery next week, and we go 1-6 without him after that. So say what you want to about the guy, this and that, but there was no doubt he was one of the toughest quarterbacks, players for that matter, that I played with. The dude would not back down just because he was hurt or banged up a little bit.
Have you had any contact with him, or you guys?
Yeah, we spoke. When was this? Maybe 5-6 months ago, and I was actually supposed to do his podcast a couple of days ago, but we couldn't figure out the technical difficulties. I'll just say that we had some technical difficulties getting it figured out, so we're going to reschedule for the future. But yeah,
I would love that.
I like him. I like where he stands on a lot of things right now.
I think that would be such an interesting podcast. Really do. Well, you guys talking ball?
I think they want to talk more than ball, though.
Oh, they could do
maybe
both.
a little more than football talked about on that show. What I'm not sure, but you never know with Jay. He's a smart guy. He's done well with his podcast. I've watched a few episodes and heard him talk. Man, he's smart. Obviously, Vanderbilt guy.
Well, there's no doubt.
Yeah. So what is life like for you every day? How's the family? Take us through where everyone is and what you do on a daily basis.
Things are good. Normally I get up, ride my bike, like we talked about Silvy the other day. I get up before it gets too damn hot and trying to go 35, 40 miles a day on my bike.
Wow.
Come home, do my push-ups and sit-ups. And that's usually before 9:30. I'm done with that. Then we have 2 donkeys and 2 cows for some reason in our back pasture, and we have 5 chickens and 3 dogs. It's awesome. And then the kids my kids all drive, and I'm like irrelevant, so they can do whatever they want to. They go to school on their own. My oldest is going to be a senior at KU this year. She'll graduate in May. So that's pretty cool. And then my son's going to be a junior. My daughter's going to be a senior. They go to rival high schools. It's pretty awesome because Chandler High is number 1, where my son goes to school. My daughter's goes to Hamilton, and they're number 1 and 2 in the state in football, and they're literally 4 miles apart.
And your son's being recruited heavily, isn't he?
He's got some offers, which I don't understand how that works these days. It's so much different than when I got recruited. It doesn't matter. He's busted his butt to get where he's at. He's 5'11", 185, plays free safety, and he's done everything he needs to do to get better. And I never have to tell him what to do. It's pretty awesome.
How do you enjoy watching him play? Do you watch nervously? Do you enjoy it? How do you do it?
You know how it is as a dad. Waddle. It's like your kids, you just don't want them to screw up. You want them to do well all the time. But yeah, I watch stressfully. I keep my mouth shut. I sit as far away as I can from everybody.
Yes.
And my wife and I sit there, whoever's at the game, and we just watch. And I think I'm his biggest critic, but I'm also his biggest fan, if that makes sense. I want him to do well, but at the same time, there's things I see. And you know what I love about him is after games or after practice, he'll show me film and be like, hey, look at this play, look at that play. And for years, he thought I was the dumbest person ever about football. So now it's so nice that he's actually trusting me to ask me questions. I don't want to get in their practices. I don't want to get on their sideline. I just want to be a dad and watch my son play football.
That's awesome. Does he embrace the fact that you're a Hall of Famer? Does he not? I mean, it's quite. I would think it'd be quite intimidating and quite a heavy cross to bear, knowing that.
Yeah, it is. I feel bad for him at times, but at the same time, he wants to do things on his own. He doesn't want to do it because of his last name. I'll tell you who's on their staff at his high school. Leonard Davis is their O-line coach. You know who Leonard Davis is?
Yeah,
left tackle from Texas, the Arizona Cardinals.
I was going to say with the Cardinals.
Dominic Raiola is their another O-line coach, and his son is their quarterback, who was the number 1 recruit in the nation for 2024.
Wow.
He already committed to Ohio State. So they got some dudes on their team. They got a great coach. Garrettson's a great coach, their head coach. He always has stories and comes home talking about how Coach G, like he lays a smackdown. He doesn't put up with their nonsense, which I think is great. It's kind of old school.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun to talk about football. My middle daughter Riley's she's in her own world, man. She does her own thing. I love it. She's a free spirit. It's fun.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. Now go through the animals again. You got what now?
Well, tell me, first of all,
Yeah.
as we do this, Brian, tell me, how do you handle, you got 2 donkeys. We have 1 here in the studio.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
So they're all minis. Like we have 2 mini donkeys. We have Donnie and we have Axel. And then we have 2 mini cows. There's Sophie and Teddy.
Mini
we have
cows. I didn't know there were mini cows.
There are. And my wife, she loves them. So we had to get them. Anyway, and we have 5 chickens. We have Lizzie, Dr. Pecker. I got the name Dr. Pecker, and she's a girl. And we have Goldie. Goldie's really pretty. Who am I leaving out? Henley. And then we have Samantha, who we thought was a girl, but is actually a boy.
Oh, boy.
And Samantha and I just got in a fight about 20 minutes ago. You'll see this if you watch my Instagram. You might see a story pretty soon of Samantha charging me, trying to scratch me.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Something
Samantha
else
had
that
some gender issues, like because we named her a girl's name. She thought it was a chick, but it's a dude. So I think she's mad at me because of he or his name, whatever it is. He's not happy.
you and Jay can talk about the animals as well, because I think he's got a full farm filled with animals.
Well, he lives in Nashville, right? He's got tons of land out there.
Yes, for sure.
Good for him.
It's awesome, Brian. It's great to catch up. All the best to you and the family, all right?
Don't be a stranger.
There you go. There's Brian Urlacher. That was fun.
He's great.
And it's good to hear that, as some people are pointing out, it's good to hear like him and Jay talking.
Yeah, that'll be a really interesting listen for a number of reasons on